Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. This was my first experience reading the prolific James Baldwin, and I must say that it was a brilliant experience. The book is just 158 pages, but it really packs in a punch because it's a love story layered with the narrative of a murder mystery and betrayal. Set in Paris, the story follows the thoughts of a young American who is very much engaged and how he falls in love with a man named Giovanni while his fiancée is out of town. It's dark and gritty in places, but it's also tender and poignant in other places. It's a really layered narrative, and you get to know a lot about the past of each characters and then quickly moves into the present. For those who are looking to expand their horizons like I was with new authors, I can think of no better book to start with than Giovanni's Room, which is an easy read but a really strong one. While I had seen the 1994 and 2019 versions of Little Women, the films, I wanted to challenge myself with a classic this year and thus got a copy of the book. Now, the films are great, but let me tell you, they don't do justice to the book. Set during the American Civil War times, the story follows the journey of four sisters and the roller coaster of emotions that they go through during this tumultuous time. While the book was published in 1868, the story is still very relevant today with lots of human emotions and circumstances that we will all relate to. So whether you've seen the film or not, do yourself a favor and grab a copy of this wholesome book if you're looking for a classic. One of my favorite books from the year and an incredible graphic novel is New Girl by Cassandra Callan. Now, I've been following Cassandra as a content creator and illustrator on Instagram for a couple of years. So when this book came out, I knew I had to get my hands on it. So the book has 261 pages of impeccable illustrations. And I mean, the tiniest details on each page, I can only imagine the hours of hard work that have gone into developing this book. This book follows the story of Leah, who immigrates from Romania to Canada, and her journey and experience through puberty, friendship, and her experience of first love. It's a semi-autobiographical book, and although it's aimed for teenagers, as a 30-year-old, I really enjoyed it. I think this makes for a great collection, a great addition to my collection of graphic novels, and I really enjoyed it, not just because of the story, but because of the beautiful book that it is. Now, we will juxtapose that to another graphic novel, which is also the story of a young girl, Khwab Nazir, who is a Kashmiri girl who is set to represent India in a jiu-jitsu competition and is going internationally for the first time. And she's sitting on Terminal 3 and thinking about her journey till then, life in Kashmir, and she keeps going between the past and what she envisions for the future. A really poignant story, and I think it's a must read for everyone. Really enjoyed this one as well. Another rare find that I just stumbled upon at a bookstore was Fort Walks. This book actually takes readers on a journey through all the heritage buildings within the Fort District in Mumbai. It's an absolute gem for those who love history and architecture. The book is really well researched and has some lovely pictures and can be used to go on a self-paced guided tour through the city. Also, for those who love history and want to go back in time, this book is a great collector's item. One of the things that I loved about the book is that with Mumbai, then Bombay, constantly changing shapes, it's a great way to go back in time over and over again and relive those memories of a lifetime gone by. So Fort Walks is definitely one of my favorites from this year. The next book is Triveni by Gulzar. Now, if you are not new to my channel, you know my love for Urdu poetry and especially for Gulzar Saab. Triveni is a style of Urdu poetry which consists of 3 lines, which was developed by Gulzar Sahab himself. And this book is a collection of poems precisely in this form of writing. Let me read out one such poem that I really liked from the book. एक एक याद उठाओ और पलकों से पोंछ के वापस रख दो। अश्क नहीं ये आँख में रखे कीमती कीमती शीशे हैं। ताक से गिर के कीमती चीज़ें टूट भी जाया करती हैं। The next book that I read in 2024 was The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Now, I had heard of this book several times in interviews that Oprah had given, but I didn't really think of getting my hands on it till someone actually gifted me a copy. I don't have the book on me right now. But I'm a firm believer in the fact that things come to you when you're ready to receive it, and I think this book came to me at the right time. It talks about 4 principles that you can apply in life to really navigate through life's challenges and be able to deal with the mental strains that just comes with life in general. I think it's a great book if you really focus on the 4 principles, because the book can be slightly repetitive in certain places and have some out there sort of ideologies, but the 4 principles, the core principles, are great if you're looking for something to really be able to manage and deal with life. I won't give away a lot more because it's just 150 pages, and honestly you can skip the introduction and the end sort of prayer section and just focus on what's in the middle, which are the 4 principles, which will be a very short and easy read but profound nonetheless. This year I tried to understand more about the ancient Indian science of health and well-being, Ayurveda. And this led me to 3 incredible books: Ritual, Everyday Ayurveda, and the complete book of Ayurvedic home remedies. Now, each one of these 3 books are very unique and give you deep insight into the different principles and how we can leverage this in our daily lives to get better physical, mental, and emotional health. For those who are looking for practical, actionable insights, recipes, and remedies, I can think of no better books than these 3 if you'd like to have better holistic, natural approach towards your health and well-being. Speaking of holistic health, the next book on my list is The Book of Holistic Beauty by Vasudha Rai. I got this book through my Audible subscription and loved every second of it. I had previously read Glow by the same author, who is a beauty columnist and former beauty director of leading magazines like Harper's Bazaar, Cosmopolitan, and Women's Health. Glow was a game changer for me and my nutritional habits, so I knew I had to get her latest book. The Book of Holistic Beauty goes deep into skin health, from the effects of meditation and nutraceuticals and gut health on the skin to injectables and dermafacials. I loved how candid the author has been with her own experiences with injectables and laser treatments, giving listeners great advice on how to go about choosing the right treatment if they are interested in going down that route. This year, I relied heavily on Audible to help me get through my reading journey for this year. And of all the books on Audible, I really relied on autobiographies, since I really love hearing about people and their lives and the lessons that they've learned. The first book on my list is Sunny Boy by Al Pacino, and man, is this a great book. It's been narrated by Al Pacino himself, and it's almost as though I'm sitting across him, listening to him share details of his early life and secrets from the sets of films like The Godfather, Scarface, and many more. And if you love Hollywood as much as I do, then don't hesitate to get this one. This takes me on to another book called Stories I Only Tell My Friends by Rob Lowe. Now, if you love the TV show 911 Lone Star, which I personally do, then this is a great book. It has a lot of insights into his journey as an actor, and I guess it can be skipped if you're not a big fan of his, but if you are, then definitely get this one. The next book is Heartstopper, which is a series of 6 graphic novels, of which the 6th edition, which is the final edition, is yet to be released. Now, the story follows the journey of 2 young boys and their friendship and how that blossoms into love. And other than love, there are a couple of other themes that you will be introduced to through this graphic novel, such as bullying, mental health, and eating disorders. all of which are pretty heavy themes. So I think this series is really aimed towards older teenagers and young adults. In case you're not into graphic novels, you could easily watch the Netflix series, which is based on this book. But if you're really into graphic novels, I would say that you could finish the entire series of 5 books in 2 to 3 days. The next 2 books is The Journey and Following the Moon. I don't have a copy of the second book on me right now. However, I do have a very detailed video on both the books on my channel. For those who haven't seen the video, a short summary would be these books have some profound life lessons along with some beautiful illustrations. It's a great read for anyone between the age of 8 to 80 and a great keepsake that I know you'll keep coming back to over and over again. Letters to a Young Poet by Rainer Maria Rilke. Another one from my Audible collection and one of the best books from my 2024 history. The book is just 1 hour 51 minutes long on Audible and has been beautifully produced with classical piano music as the background score. The book is a series of letters between the author and a young aspiring poet who reaches out to him for feedback on his body of work. Those exchanges led to letters on life, love, going inwards, and many more tender themes of a life well lived. What struck me the most about the book is the author's insights of understanding oneself first to understand the world better and his thoughts on patience and mindfulness. The correspondence is dated to 1902 and the author's insights stand true even in 2024. I loved hearing this version of the book and will go back to it over and over again. A must read or listen for all lovers of literature. The Perfume Project by Devrina Dhingra, which I stumbled upon by chance in a bookstore at one point, and I will say it's one of my favorite reads from the year. I do have a detailed video on this book which will be linked down below in case you want to go deeper into understanding what this book is about. But I'll give you a quick summary. It talks about the different flowers and fragrances native to India like rose, jasmine, khas and saffron, and the author takes us on a journey to the different landscapes of India where these flowers are grown and the ancient methods through which perfume is extracted, the history of perfumery in India, and it's layered with this refreshing tone of an autobiographical story as well. So if you're interested in perfumery or fragrances or just the history of India, I think this makes for an exceptional book. Last but certainly not the least is 26 Marathons by Meb Keflezighi. The book details the journey of this long-distance athlete as he trains and participates in and often wins 26 different marathons. No, he doesn't win all of them, but you'll have to find out which are the ones that he has won. I think there's a lot to learn from sportsmen, and while I hate to run, I am thoroughly enjoying understanding the life of a marathon runner. This book is 6+ hours of content, so I'm still in the middle of it. But I think if I had to decide between the paperback and listening to it, I would definitely choose the audiobook.